Imagine having a garden that never stops blooming. A garden where no matter what month of the growing season you step outside there is always color, always beauty, always something flowering and alive that makes your outdoor space look absolutely stunning from the very first warm days of spring, right through the final weeks before the first frost of fall shuts everything down for winter. No gaps, no dull periods, no bare patches where the flowers have come and gone and left nothing interesting behind. Just continuous nonstop blooming color that keeps your garden looking like a professional masterpiece every single day of the growing season. Welcome back. It is so wonderful to have you here. And if you are joining us for the very first time, then welcome. Today's video is going to change your garden forever. Before we dive into all 20 of these incredible continuous blooming perennials, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. And make sure you tap that bell icon so that every new video we upload lands directly in your notifications and you never miss a single one. Now let's go to the video. Brief problem setup. Why the topic matters. Now let us address something that practically every gardener experiences at some point, and that genuinely frustrates even the most experienced and most dedicated among us. The mid-season garden slump. You start the growing season with so much excitement and energy. Your spring garden is absolutely glorious. Everything is blooming, everything is fresh, and your outdoor space looks better than it has all year. And then as spring gives way to summer and summer moves toward fall, the flowers that gave you all that early season excitement finish one by one. Suddenly your garden has these disappointing gaps and dull periods where the color and the life seem to have drained away, and what was once stunning has become flat and uninteresting. This happens in gardens everywhere, and it happens for one fundamental reason. Most gardeners choose their perennials based on what looks beautiful at the garden center on the day they visit rather than thinking strategically about blooming duration and seasonal succession. The result is a garden that peaks brilliantly for a few weeks and then underperforms for the rest of the season. But when you deliberately seek out and plant perennials that are specifically known for their extraordinarily long and continuous blooming seasons, and you combine them thoughtfully to create a succession of overlapping blooms across the entire growing season, you create something genuinely magical. A garden that never stops giving, never stops blooming, and never stops looking absolutely beautiful no matter what month you step outside. Today, I am giving you 20 of the absolute best perennials for achieving exactly that result. Let us get into every single one of them. At number 1, we have Coreopsis moonbeam. Coreopsis moonbeam opens this list because it is widely regarded by garden professionals as one of the single greatest long-blooming perennials ever introduced, and for very good reason. It produces a continuous and virtually uninterrupted cascade of soft lemon yellow daisy flowers from late spring right through summer and deep into fall, creating a blooming season that can span 4 to 5 months without any significant pause. It is heat tolerant, moderately drought tolerant, and the soft pale yellow flower color harmonizes beautifully with virtually every other plant in the garden, making it one of the most useful and most versatile long blooming perennials in existence. At number 2, we have Scabiosa butterfly blue, also known as pincushion flower. Scabiosa butterfly blue is one of the most genuinely remarkable, long-blooming perennials available, and it is a plant that always seems to have flowers open no matter what time of the growing season you look at it. It produces an endless succession of lavender blue pincushion flowers on slender wiry stems from late spring right through to hard frost in fall. And that rare cool blue color combined with its almost supernatural blooming continuity makes it one of the most valuable and most beautiful long-blooming perennials you can grow. It is also one of the most irresistible plants for butterflies, bringing continuous wildlife movement and beauty to your garden all season long. At number 3, we have Geranium roseanne, also known as cranesbill. Geranium roseanne is one of the most celebrated and most award-winning perennial plant introductions of the last quarter century, and it has earned every single accolade it has ever received. It produces large, beautiful violet-blue flowers with a white center in a virtually unbroken blooming season from late spring right through to fall that very few other perennials can match. It received the award of Garden Merit from the Royal Horticultural Society and was voted the most popular perennial of the last 100 years in a major gardening survey. It requires no deadheading. It is moderately drought-tolerant, and the graceful trailing spreading habit makes it perfect for the front of borders and for filling gaps with continuous color. At number 4, we have Salvia caradana. Salvia caradana is a truly special perennial that produces tall, elegant spikes of deep violet purple, flowers on striking near black stems, creating a visual combination of extraordinary drama and sophistication. It blooms from late spring through summer, and with a light trim after the first flush, it reblooms reliably in late summer, and fall extending its season of color right up to the edge of frost. It is highly heat tolerant, very drought resistant, magnificently deer resistant, and it is one of the outstanding perennials for attracting bees in enormous numbers to your garden throughout the growing season. At number 5, we have Nepeta Six Hills Giant, also known as catmint. Catmint is a perennial that experienced gardeners absolutely swear by, and once you grow it, you will immediately understand exactly why. It forms large, billowing mounds covered in long, graceful spikes of lavender blue flowers, from late spring through early summer, in a first flush that is simply breathtaking. Cut it back by half after the first flush, and it regrows quickly and reblooms prolifically in late summer and fall, giving you multiple seasons of that beautiful, soft, romantic color. It is extraordinarily drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, virtually pest-free, and the aromatic gray-green foliage releases a wonderful fragrance when brushed, making it a true multi-sensory garden pleasure. At number 6, we have Gaillardia, also known as blanket flower. Gaillardia is one of the most vibrantly and most exuberantly colorful, long-blooming perennials in the entire plant world, and the combination of its extraordinary warm flower colors with its genuinely remarkable blooming duration makes it absolutely indispensable on this list. It produces large, bold daisy flowers in spectacular combinations of rich red, bright yellow, fiery orange, and deep burgundy from early summer right through to the first hard frost of fall, in one of the longest continuous blooming seasons of any perennial on this entire list. It is exceptionally heat-tolerant, drought-resistant once established, and absolutely unfussy about soil quality, making it one of the most effortlessly rewarding long-blooming perennials available. At number 7, we have Echinacea magnus, also known as Magnus coneflower. Echinacea magnus is widely considered one of the finest coneflower varieties ever introduced, and the Perennial Plant of the Year 1998 winner continues to earn its legendary status in gardens everywhere. It produces large, bold, rosy purple flowers with prominent orange-brown center cones from midsummer right through fall in a long and reliable season that provides spectacular color when many summer perennials are beginning to fade. It is exceptionally drought-tolerant. It handles heat brilliantly. It attracts butterflies and bees prolifically throughout summer, and the seed cones that remain after the petals fall provide vital food for birds right through late fall and winter, adding extraordinary multi-season value to an already outstanding plant. At number 8, we have Veronica spicata, also known as Spike Speedwell. Veronica spicata is one of the most underrated long-blooming perennials in the garden, and it brings a wonderful vertical element and a long season of rich color that garden designers value enormously. It produces tall, dense spikes of tiny, tightly packed flowers in deep blue violet, bright pink, and pure white from early summer right through late summer and into fall in a reliably long-blooming season. The vertical spike form creates a beautiful structural contrast to the more rounded and daisy-like forms of many summer perennials, making it an incredibly valuable design element. It is heat-tolerant, moderately drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and largely pest and disease-free. At number 9, we have Agastache black adder, also known as hyssop. Agastache black adder is one of the most exciting and most beautiful of the lesser known long-blooming perennials, and it earns its place on this list through the sheer length and reliability of its late-season blooming that keep the garden vibrant and alive when so many other plants are winding down. It produces long, densely packed spikes of deep violet-blue flowers on dark stems from midsummer right through to the very first frosts of fall, and the combination of those richly colored spikes with the aromatic gray-green foliage creates a plant of extraordinary presence and beauty. It is highly drought-tolerant. It thrives in full sun and heat, and it is one of the most outstanding plants available for attracting bees and hummingbirds to the garden right through the late-season months. At number 10, we have Penstemon Husker Red. Penstemon Husker Red is a plant of extraordinary visual distinction that brings a level of drama and sophistication to the long-blooming garden that is completely unique and unlike anything else on this list. It produces tall, elegant spikes light to soft, blush pink tubular flowers against the most remarkable deep reddish bronze foliage from late spring through summer, creating a breathtaking color contrast between those dark leaves and those delicate pale flowers that is truly unforgettable. It was the perennial plant of the year 1996 winner. It is more cold-hardy than many other penstemon varieties, and the stunning dark foliage provides multi-season ornamental interest from the moment the plant emerges in spring until it dies back in fall. At number 11, we have Rudbeckia goldsturm. Rudbeckia goldsturm is one of the most reliably beautiful and most consistently cheerful, long-blooming perennials in existence, and it is a plant that has been earning its place in gardens around the world for decades without ever losing its appeal or its relevance. It produces an abundance of large golden yellow daisy flowers, with dark brown center cones from midsummer right through fall, and it does so with a consistency and a generosity that is deeply satisfying. It handles heat brilliantly. It is moderately drought-tolerant once established. It is largely disease-resistant, and the warm golden color of the flowers pairs harmoniously with virtually every other plant color in the garden, making it one of the most design-friendly, long-blooming perennials available. At number 12, we have Salvia nemorosa East Friesland. Salvia nemorosa East Friesland is a compact and beautifully refined salvia variety that produces dense, upright spikes of rich violet-purple flowers from late spring through summer with exceptional prolificacy, and then reblooms reliably in late summer and fall with a second and sometimes third flush of those beautiful flowers, extending its season of color right through to frost. It is a smaller and more compact variety than some of the other salvias, making it particularly well-suited to container growing and to smaller garden spaces where a more restrained scale is needed. It is very heat-tolerant, drought-resistant, deer-resistant, and it attracts bees and butterflies in impressive numbers throughout its long blooming season. At number 13, we have Dianthus, also known as garden pinks. Dianthus is a plant that has been grown in gardens for centuries, and its enduring popularity is a testament to the extraordinary combination of beauty, fragrance, and long-blooming duration that it consistently delivers. It produces masses of fringed petaled flowers in rich shades of pink, red, white, and bicolored combinations above neat mounding clumps of blue-gray foliage, and it blooms from late spring through summer, and often reblooms in fall, creating a very generous season of color and fragrance. The spicy clove-like fragrance of Dianthus flowers is one of the most distinctive and most beloved garden fragrances, and having it wafting from your borders throughout the long blooming season is one of the most genuine sensory pleasures any garden can offer. At number 14, we have Hemerocallis Happy Returns Daylily. Happy Returns Daylily is one of the most extraordinary reblooming daylily varieties ever bred, and it represents a genuine revolution in daylily performance that has made it one of the most popular and most widely planted perennials of the last several decades. It produces cheerful, soft lemon-yellow trumpet-shaped flowers from early summer right through to fall in multiple flushes of bloom that keep the plant looking fresh and colorful for a far longer period than traditional daylily varieties. It is cold-hardy across a very wide range of climates. It tolerates heat and humidity. It handles periods of drought gracefully once established, and it performs well in both full sun and light partial shade, making it one of the most adaptable and most rewarding long-blooming perennials available at any price. At number 15, we have Akalea moonshine, also known as yarrow. Akalea moonshine is one of the most beautiful and most structurally interesting long-blooming perennials available, and it brings a quality of soft, architectural elegance to the garden that is completely its own. It produces large flat-topped flower clusters in a beautiful soft sulfur yellow, color above deeply cut silver-gray aromatic foliage from early summer right through fall, and the combination of those distinctive flat flower heads with that beautiful gray foliage creates a plant of genuine sophistication and year-round ornamental value. It is extremely drought-tolerant. It thrives in poor dry soils. It attracts beneficial insects prolifically, and the dried flower heads remain attractive and ornamental well into winter, adding further seasonal interest to an already outstanding perennial. At number 16, we have Campanula carpatica, also known as Carpathian bellflower. Campanula carpatica is a wonderfully delicate and beautifully refined long-blooming perennial that produces an abundance of large upward-facing bell-shaped flowers in rich violet, blue, and pure white from early summer right through to late summer and often into fall. The flowers are remarkably large relative to the compact size of the plant, creating a display that looks lush, generous, and abundantly beautiful throughout its long season. It is a shade-tolerant perennial that performs well in partial sun, making it valuable for those garden spots that do not receive full sun all day, and it is one of the most charming and most appealing long-blooming perennials for container growing, where its compact, well-behaved habit and generous flower production are particularly well-suited. At number 17, we have Liatris spicata, also known as blazing star. Liatris spicata is one of the most structurally dramatic and most uniquely beautiful long-blooming perennials available, and it is a plant that brings a strong vertical element and a vivid color impact to the garden that is genuinely unlike anything else on this list. It produces tall, strong spikes of densely packed vivid purple to rosy pink flowers from midsummer right through late summer in a display that is bold, striking, and deeply attractive. One of the most fascinating characteristics of Liatris is that its flower spikes open from the top downward rather than from the bottom up, like most spike flowering plants, creating a very distinctive and visually interesting blooming progression. It is drought-tolerant once established, it is deer-resistant, and it is one of the most outstanding butterfly-attracting perennials available, with monarch butterflies being particularly attracted to the flowers during their late summer migration. At number 18, we have Verbena bonariensis. Verbena bonariensis is a tall, airy, and wonderfully atmospheric long-blooming perennial that creates one of the most beautiful and most ethereal effects in the garden when it is in full bloom from midsummer right through to the first frosts of fall. It produces small but intensely vivid clusters of rich purple flowers on tall, slender branching stems that create a hazy cloud of purple color that floats above surrounding plants and creates a magical transparent layering effect that garden designers absolutely love for the depth and the mystery it adds to planting compositions. It self-seeds, freely maintaining permanent colonies that come back year after year, and it is one of the most outstanding butterfly magnets in the entire garden flowering world, with numerous butterfly species visiting the flowers throughout its very long late season blooming period. At number 19, we have Oenothera, also known as evening primrose. Oenothera is a fascinating and somewhat magical long-blooming perennial that has the extraordinary and completely unique quality of opening its flowers in the late afternoon and early evening, making it one of the most rewarding plants for gardeners who spend their evenings outdoors enjoying their garden after work. It produces large, silky, cupped flowers in brilliant golden yellow from early summer right through fall, and the flowers that open each evening catch the low golden light of the setting sun in a way that is truly breathtaking. It is also highly fragrant in the evening hours, attracting moths and other night-flying pollinators that most other garden flowers completely fail to serve. It is extremely drought-tolerant. It thrives in poor soils, and it spreads gently to create larger and more impressive colonies with each passing year. At number 20, we have Helenium, also known as sneezeweed. Closing out our list of 20 best longest blooming perennials, at number 20 we have Helenium, and it is an absolutely outstanding plant to close with because it specializes in providing spectacular late-season color that keeps the garden looking vibrant and beautiful right through the final weeks of the growing season when so many other perennials have already finished for the year. Helenium produces an abundance of large daisy-like flowers in the most spectacular warm color combinations, including rich mahogany red, deep burnt orange, golden yellow, and beautiful bicolored varieties with petals striped and splashed in multiple warm tones from midsummer right through fall. The flowers have a distinctive reflexed petal form that gives them a cheerful and somewhat funky character that is immediately appealing, and the warm color palette they bring to the late-season garden is truly extraordinary. It is tough, reliable, deer-resistant, and it attracts bees and butterflies prolifically throughout its very long and very generous late-season blooming period, making it the perfect final entry on the ultimate list of continuously blooming perennial flowers. And there you have it, the top 20 best longest blooming perennial flowers that bloom continuously from spring right through to frost. From the soft lemon magic of Coreopsis moonbeam all the way through to the spectacular late-season warmth of Helenium, every single plant on today's list has been chosen because it delivers an extraordinary and extended season of continuous color that keeps your garden looking beautiful and alive, without any gaps or dull periods throughout the entire growing season. Plant these thoughtfully together, with attention to overlapping bloom times and complementary colors, and you will have created something truly magical. A garden that never stops blooming, never stops giving, and never stops taking your breath away from the very first day of spring to the very last golden day of fall. Thank you so profoundly and so sincerely for watching today's video all the way through to the very end. A video of this length and depth takes real commitment to watch from beginning to end, and I am genuinely grateful for every single minute of your time and attention. Final CTA, if today's video inspired you and gave you a whole new vision for what your garden could look and feel like throughout the entire growing season, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with every gardening lover you know. Because this is the kind of information that genuinely transforms gardens, and the more people who have access to it, the more beautiful gardens there will be in the world. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and have your bell notification turned on so you never miss any of our upcoming plant guides and gardening videos, because we have so much more incredible content coming your way very soon. We pour genuine passion and genuine expertise into every single video we create, and we do it all for you and for the love of gardening that we all share. Thank you again for being here, for being part of this incredible community, and for your wonderful ongoing support. I appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep planting, keep growing, and enjoy every single continuously blooming, beautiful day your garden gives you right up until the very last moment before frost.